Mental Training 101 on 105.5 The Roar. And now back to Get Warrior Tough with Andrew Wittman.
All right, Andrew and Dutch back in the saddle. One of these days, Dutch, I'm just going to drop the Wittman. I need to be just Andrew, like Cher or Madonna. It's just Andrew. And I'm going to go that way with Dutch, too. It'll just be Dutch and Andrew. We don't even need last names, man.
Hey, you're big time when you get to that point.
Well, that's where we're going, man. We might as well just start right now. It's just Dutch and Andrew. Andrew and Dutch. Dutch and Andrew. What's up? All right, so now this whole thing about where you and I just kind of stumbled into something. We're talking about that Florida, what's his name, McElwain, I think, was going off on. Now it's funny because what was the kid's name? I can't remember. It was a Ward.
Taylor's kid. Fred Taylor's son.
Fred Taylor's kid, right? So and Fred Taylor got fined for doing the throat slash. So it's like the kid got it honestly. Anyway, I mean you got to be proud of him. He was doing his dad's move anyway.
Absolutely. And the other thing is that Florida got in the end zone. I might have done the story. He's never been there before.
Right. Hey, what? Hey, we have been here since like the old ball coach left, or Urban Meyer had that heart attack. Man, what is going on?
But again,
I love you, Urban.
I've coached a little bit and I've yelled a little bit myself, so I'm guilty of yelling. But I think even in yelling, people are getting mixed up with us having this discussion with is yelling right or wrong? Yelling, this isn't an indictment on yelling.
No.
This is on things like what are you yelling? How long are you yelling? How effective is your yelling? You know, those things matter even when you're yelling.
Right, and it's not that it's not a personal attack. And I'll say this, and this is what I coach when we're coaching mental toughness, that I use my anger as a tool or a scalpel. And so a lot of times, and in psychology, there is 95% of the human population, they avoid pain or loss or fear of more pain before they would ever approach pleasure. Only 5% of the population will actually approach pleasure. It's like bull riding, right? When the bull rider lands, boom, the toro trampled him. He'll lay there in the middle of the arena until toro comes back around for a second pass. Suddenly he gets healed, runs across the arena, and then collapses in a gurney and is in a body cast for 8 months. Why did he do that? Because of fear of more pain. It wasn't that, right? So the fear of more pain overrode him. So sometimes you have to be toro, okay? And so I do that. But while I'm doing that, I want you to be more afraid of me than you are of making the course correction or doing the wrong thing. Sometimes I have to do that with certain people when I'm coaching them. At no time do I insult them on a personal level. No time do I call them names or tear down their character. At no time do I do that. Now, see, it's two completely different things. And this guy, he did that, and it's just ridiculous.
And you know another thing, Andrew, that I'm getting, even discussing this now that I hadn't thought about. If I'm yelling at a kid or at a person, it's about that person. I want that person to hear what I'm saying. I want them to understand what I'm saying. So even in my anger, I'm looking at, making eye contact. It's about me and you right now. No one else can hear us. I'm yelling at you. This is our space.
Yeah.
I got the feeling that McElwain, it wasn't about Taylor. It was about everyone that was watching.
Yeah, and whoever was catching a good video. Yeah, whoever was, YouTube videoing it.
This guy was performing. Mm-hmm. He was putting on a show at the cost of this kid, and it was no longer about the kid. So if you're going to yell away, but focus on the kid. Try to yell some productive things. Try to yell some points. Try to yell something. So this isn't about yelling. This is about, it's still, at the end of the day, your yelling is still about the person in front of you, not about putting on a show for everyone around him, and at the cost of the kid's pride and his reputation
ego
and all the other things.
Yeah, no, and here's the thing, and let's do this. Let's not embarrass him. When I'm doing the yelling, I want to do it privately. It's just like you said. It's you and me talking. This isn't about me trying to embarrass you. I don't want to embarrass them. I want them to save face. So if you have to do it out there on the sideline, you do it in a place where it's not getting videoed and it is semi-private. There's places you could pull them over into a corner and you could do it, or you could wait till the locker room and then have that conversation in the locker room. And see, the professional coaches, and you see the guys that are under control, they'll come over and they'll be like, "Hey, you know what? You're smoked on Monday," and and that's even more effective. I'm like, I'll be more freaked out if my coach just quietly said, "Hey, listen, you come see me Monday.
Right.
Practice on Monday." That would freak me out, man. I'm like, oh man, I'm dead.
And if I am yelling at you because they're emotional, they're going through some things too in the game, different things happen. So maybe the coach loses his cool. Even when I'm yelling at you and I'm losing my cool, it can't be about a performance.
No.
Because if I'm yelling good stuff at you.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, hey, look, man, I heard what he was yelling. He was yelling good stuff.
Right.
He was getting on the kid's tail because the kid deserved. But this guy was all over the place. So even in his yelling, it was a mess.
Yeah.
So it was less about the yelling and the fact that he was yelling, but more about how he was yelling. It's like, dude, you should have had a costume on. You should have had like a nose, or like a bright red nose, and you should have been like dancing around, because that's what you were doing. You were acting like this clown figure, and you lost the kid because now your yelling wasn't even effective anymore, because you became like a show instead of a coach yelling.
Yeah, you turned into, like I call Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
Right. Dude, hey, coach, you're not even yelling good, man.
Right.
Join the Phalanx. We'll teach you how to yell.
We'll teach you how to yell effectively.
Right. Because if you're going to do it, I mean, all right, I'm just saying. But I will use my anger as a tool. It's very controlled. I don't want to use it as a sledgehammer. It's a scalpel, and it's laser focused. And I'm not saying don't get angry. There are times when you get angry. I'm not saying don't yell. We do yell. There's effective ways to deal with people. And this is part of that people whispering thing. You'll learn all of these things of when to do it and how to do it. What you don't want is the collateral damage and the fallout of what Dutch is talking about. That now you lost the kid because you didn't do it right, and now you've done more damage than you ever did good. And not only there's no way that guy can feel good about what he did, man.
No, and I think at the end of the day, kids do have thick skin, and the kid himself didn't seem as affected by it.
Nah, he's just like, man, that dude's a kook. There's the old man going off again. But what it does is it hurts that coach's ability to speak into that kid's life. And so that kid won't receive, we're talking about effective communication, he don't receive anything the coach is saying anymore, because, man, there's the old man. He's lost his mind again. There he goes.
No matter what that kid says, he does not have the same respect for that coach before them, because if you're going to question my manhood,
yeah,
you lost me. We're done. Now I'm gonna be the good soldier. I'm gonna be the good player. I'm gonna be the good whatever, because that's what I do in sports. But internally and emotionally and relationship wise, you've lost me.
Absolutely. And as now we're talking about this emotional stuff, let's talk a little bit about emotional intelligence, because this is a big piece of mental toughness. This is what we do in the Phalanx. This is what we do with corporations. Is critical thinking and emotional intelligence. That's really, if mental toughness, you break it down as two things. It's critical thinking and emotional intelligence. That's all mental toughness is. I'm going to give you some stats, Dutch, about emotional intelligence. Is that right?
Now, can I throw one thing in there when you said mental toughness?
Yeah.
What did Dabo Swinney say after the Louisville game?
Oh, right. And did I tweet that to you or text you? I was like, that's what he was like, mental toughness. Well, how did you guys win the game? Mental toughness. Mental toughness. And there's Dabo preaching the mental toughness message, and that is exactly what they did in the Louisville game, and that is exactly what didn't happen in that stupid Alabama game. Don't get you started on that. Don't get me off on that, Dutch. You and I already had that conversation, man.
They dealt with they faced some adversity, and they didn't fall apart mentally. They stayed in there. They stayed focused. They were able to keep everything together. They were able to hold it together tight, no matter what happened, no matter what they were hit with. They were able to rebound with supreme focus. And as everybody around them were getting scared, the fans were getting nervous, all these things were happening.
Yeah, I heard people like, oh, here we go again, kind of. And here's the two things that they did. This is the two things they did, Dutch. They used critical thinking and executed their process, and they had the emotional intelligence to be aware of their emotions and control them.
And they won the game.
I just smacked my mic. Did you hear it? Boom. All right, so I know, because I'm getting all excited because you said these are. Can you tell? I'm just so passionate about this stuff. It'll help you, man. So here we go. Let's talk about some emotional intelligence pieces. Here's a study of over 40 Fortune 500 companies. So the Fortune 500 companies, they studied 40 of them. 40. That's a pretty big chunk. Okay, and then what they did, they studied their salespeople, and the ones that had high emotional intelligence outperformed those with medium or low emotional intelligence by 50%. Increased sales by 50%. Why would you not call us? It's costing you money to not have Dutch and I come in and teach your people and train them on emotional intelligence. I mean, these are hard numbers, man.
That is as good as making sales itself. When you make a decision to equip your salespeople, you are by default making sales.
Absolutely.
So you're wondering why a guy didn't get a sale. Well, you just got 50% more sales by making this decision right here.
Right here. Like, call right now, 864-977-1443. I mean, you got to be nuts if you own a business, you're a sales manager, or you're even a sales rep, and not make that call. 864-977-1443. I mean, I'm not making this. I mean, 40 Fortune 500 companies. So these are high-end performers. These are all pharmaceuticals, industrial. These are high-ticket items, man, 50% more sales.
and very competitive environments.
Very competitive.
These are where, look, it's all about the bottom line. You're in it to win it. These are fights. Every day these guys get in their cars, get in their vehicles, and go out. It's a fight out there to get that business. You're talking about 50%.
And yeah, you know what? These salespeople that we're talking about right here, these are the athletes of the business world. Sales reps are the athletes of the business world. As I was talking to this to Deborah at WCCP, because she runs all the sales reps. So you guys are the athletes here at the station, really, because you're the ones that make it happen. That's why the bills get paid by the sales reps going out and doing their job. And with that high emotional intelligence, 50% more sales. It's just crazy numbers, man. Crazy numbers.
It's real. It's real. This is real. You're talking about real Fortune 500 companies. This isn't some theory. This isn't something that's made up. This is real data, and you got to respect it. You got to pay attention to it.
And I do, man. Listen to this on productivity. The same study, exact same study, showed that technical programs, not just the salespeople, but the technical programmers who fell into the top 10% of emotional intelligence competencies were producing new software at a rate 3 times faster than those with lower measures. That's a drop the mic moment right there. So you take these engineers, the software programmers, the ones that have higher emotional intelligence. So it ain't just about training your salespeople. You want to put out better, gamers, the people that are putting out, new game, Madden 16, man. It's the same as 15 and 14 and 13, dude. It's time you called us up and we give you some emotional intelligence for your programmers. Stop rerunning the same old stuff.
You're talking about Microsoft Word or the whole Office, all those things, the different things, improving things like that. I mean, you're talking about functional areas of your life, things that you're doing on a daily basis. We're all technology oriented now. These things are being improved and being improved at a higher rate by people with a higher level of emotional intelligence. It's real.
It's real. And I don't know about Madden. I just know what my kids say. They don't even want me to buy it for them. That's what they told me. And I figure, the kids know, man. They know where you can't fool them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then there was a company in Dallas that was based, they measured all of its staff, the entire staff, and found that their employees, no matter what department they were in, higher emotional intelligence were 20 times more productive than those with the lower score.
Wow.
Not 20%, 20 times, all across the board, whether it was the janitor, the human resource person, the person that was all ordering the office supplies, all the way up to the CEO and all the way back down. Any staff in that entire organization, the higher emotional intelligence, 20 times more productive, whatever the metric was.
I want to ask the professionals out there that are listening, you got this information, this fascinating information. What are you going to do now? What are you going to do next? You got all this great feedback, this information about productivity, about sales, numbers and money and dollars and cents and emotional intelligence. What are you going to do now?
And that's the question on the table. Well, I'll give you a hint. Call 864-977-1443. Go to getwarriortough.com. Go to the contact page. Get in touch. This is what we're very, very good at what we do. We can help you. If we can't help you, I will tell you we cannot help you. If we can't, Dutch and I'll say, hey, look, we can't help you. And we'll go find somebody that can help you with whatever your problem is. But chances are it's going to be us. Chances are, Dutch, you know it. We can help people.
Absolutely.
All right, man. The hour's gone. Isn't that crazy? It's gone again.
Wow.
All right. So, great show, man. It was great seeing you. Great hanging out with you. I like just hanging out with you because I get to hang out with you for an hour. That's why I love doing the show, man.
Likewise, man. I'm telling you. It's the highlight of my week.
That's so awesome. All right, brother. I'll see you next week. Thanks so much for being so awesome and keep it up. Is there any charge for awesomeness or is it free?
Nothing's free.
Play us out, Jacko.